I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Hey everybody, this is Jason Dean with the JoBlo Movie Network. Everyone naturally tries to avoid getting sick, but you have to be extra careful in the world of cinema. Let's count down the top 10 movie diseases you wouldn't want to catch. Here we go. Number 10 is a bioweapon by the name of Motaba from the movie Outbreak. Originally a virus found in the African jungles, it was engineered by the United States military into a bioweapon. The virus resurfaces in America when an African monkey still carrying the virus is smuggled into the US. The virus mutates into a highly contagious strain that immediately starts infecting everyone in the immediate area with flu-like symptoms that ultimately end in death. Avoid that one. Number 9 is good old Captain Trips, originating from the mind of Stephen King in his book The Stand. Now stop me if you've heard this one before. The US Army works in a secret underground laboratory to weaponize a strain of influenza that is extremely contagious. The disease is accidentally released in the facility, and a lone security guard escapes only to spread it, causing a worldwide pandemic that ends up killing off 99.4% of the world's population. That's a lot of sick days. Number 8 is a disease referred to as MEV1 from the 2011 film Contagion. Symptoms are very similar to our last two entries. It is basically a mutated form of influenza that spreads extremely quickly. However, surprise, surprise, this one happened naturally without any bioengineering. Oddly, it ends up being a mixture of a bat virus and a pig virus that mutated together and was then spread to a human. In the movie, supposedly 1 in 12 is infected with a 30% mortality rate. Cut your friends list down to 10 or less in that universe. Number 7 is bad fish disease. Alright, I know it's not a disease, but it's airplane, damn it. And I'm going to allow Leslie Nielsen to explain this one.
Starts with a slight fever, dryness of the throat. As the virus penetrates the red blood cells, the victim becomes dizzy. Begins to experience an itching, a rash. From there, the poison goes to work on the central nervous system, causing severe muscle spasms, followed by the inevitable drooling. At this point, the entire digestive system collapses, accompanied by uncontrollable flatulence, until finally the poor bastard is reduced to a quivering, wasted piece of jelly.
Number 6 is ALZ-113 from Rise of the Planet of the Apes, not to be confused with ALZ-112. Both are presented as prototype treatments for Alzheimer's disease. However, ALZ-112 was effective but only temporarily. But in comparison to ALZ-113, I think I will take the temporary improvement, since 113 turns into a lethal virus when exposed to humans. Oddly, that same treatment gives primates human-level intelligence, causing the world to be overrun by apes after nearly wiping out the human race. Seems like we just can't win with that one. Number 5 is actually a real disease, but just so happens to be the subject of a Robin Williams movie. Werner syndrome, also known as adult progeria, is a disease that brings on accelerated aging in an individual. In the movie, we see Robin Williams entering 5th grade as what looks to be a man in his late 20s or even early 30s. Sadly, this disease usually ends the life of the individual in their actual 40s, as their body has aged double by that time. Movie or not, this disease sucks. Here's another disease that is not just the subject of a movie, but also a dreadful reality that has seen its share of news coverage in recent years. Cabin Fever is labeled as an American horror comedy film that subjects its victims and the audience to the horrors of flesh-eating bacteria. The movie follows a group of college students who go to a remote cabin in the woods and end up getting infected from the water in the local lake. If you ever encounter this disease in your lifetime, it will be too soon. Number 3 is another medical problem from the real world that not just one, but two very different movies based their plots on. 50 First Dates and MEMENTO are both based on lead characters who suffer from Anterograde amnesia, or what is commonly known as short-term memory loss. 50 First Dates shows the struggles of Drew Barrymore's character and the patience of Adam Sandler's love for her. MEMENTO follows Guy Pearce's character, who is obsessed with finding his wife's murderer and the cause of his amnesia. It's a sad and frustrating existence for those afflicted with this trauma. Number 2 is a bit generic, but there's no easy way to put this one. We're just going to call this one the zombie virus, which is pretty much the generic unnamed medical disease that causes the victims to either rise from the dead or turn into bloodthirsty mutants that crave human flesh, brains, or whatever other body parts. Since 90% of zombie movies don't actually care about the disease itself, this is one of those generic fantasy diseases that we can only say good luck to those who try to survive it. It never seems to turn out well for anyone involved. And the number 1 worst disease we think you should try to avoid is the rage virus from the movies 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. Why is this one number 1? Well, because it is so horrible that it doesn't actually kill the host, even though they are somewhat still self-aware. The virus infects the individual, causing them to permanently enter a primal state of murderous rage with the sole purpose to spread the virus or kill those who are uninfected. It is somewhat assumed that the host lives in this state as long as the body can withstand the constant adrenaline production in their system, basically forever imprisoning the person to a horrible nightmare that can't end soon enough. Yikes. So there's our top 10 movie diseases you wouldn't want to catch. Tell us down below which one you thought was the worst. I'm Jason Dean for the JoBlo Movie Network, and thanks for watching.